anymore. Blueberry bagel with butter. Coffee. Little bit of 1% milk. Maxwell House, shout out. So, I recorded. What's going with the hair there? I recorded Sports Center shout out last night. So I don't have to deal with commercials. I don't have to deal with all the analytics after every single highlight package. And hopefully we can just get some highlights. So let's rock and roll because there's a lot to get into, I think. A lot of NHL teams in action, a lot of Canadian content. Flames, Oilers, Jets all in action last night. Flames trying to stay alive. Oilers just keep trucking. Maybe they can get a save once in a while. I think Stuart Skinner did play last night, though. And Winnipeg struggling, seeing if they can hold on to that spot. So here we go. Oh, I went too far. So we got Flames in LA. Flames needing it bad. 4 points out. Flames score. I don't think the Flames are going to get in. I don't think they're good enough. Oh, look, let's review this. It was offside by a half a blade. But that's the way it is. I don't think Calgary's good enough. I think they were pretty well structured last year. I don't think the structure is as good this year. I don't think Huberdeau is the main engine that you need to make that team go, to make any team go, really. And he got paid a lot. Markstrom with a good save there. Oh, God. Goal or no goal title. Korpisalo might have a pretty good future there in LA. I like it. Can't see it cross the line. It's not a goal. Yeah, I don't think Huberdeau's the engine. I don't think Kadri's a big enough piece of an engine. I mean, he could be a second-line center. Again, they paid him a lot of money, but let's remember where he was last year and who he was surrounded by. And don't forget who Huberdeau was surrounded by. But anyways, that's a big win for Calgary. See if they can figure it out. But Winnipeg in San Jose. And Rick Bowness, I saw on Twitter, had some words about his team after this game. I mean, there's going to be a time now, like, I don't know. You always think about this with really good goaltenders. Are they going to be pissed off? Are they going to come to a point where they're just like, I'm tired of this? I don't think Hellebuck's that guy, but could come to a time here where he's just like, if we can't get it done here, then, and you guys are going to rebuild in some form, I don't want to be part of it, right? And it might be smart for them to move him to get pieces, but I don't think that time is here. I don't think it's now. Reimer with a save. Well, a sick save, laying the paddle down. I think a lot of the time with these saves, it's just last-minute desperation, and majority of it is the player shooting it at the goalie, at the paddle or something. It's just tough. You have a player like Scheifele who's just, is he a full-out gamer? Is he a full-out demon? Is he a full-out guy who's going to give you his guts every single night? The Jets are 10 games above 500, but they're struggling. They're not going to show Rick Bowness, but Rick Bowness said, I think he said something like, if these guys think they're giving their best effort out there, well, they're fooling themselves or something like that. Edmonton in Vegas. Oh, Johnny Quick misplays the puck and just reaches out. And again, it's a crazy paddle save. I don't know how this stuff happens, but it's on Draisaitl, who you may have seen was in a post on Locker Hockey's Instagram page yesterday, if you want to check that out. You gotta imagine what it's like to be playing in Vegas 42 times a year or whatever, 41 times a year, traveling there X amount of times as a visiting team if you're in that division. I want to go. Definitely immediately added to the bucket list. Is that Nuge? Nuge is unreal right now. It took him a while to become like a number one overall guy, and I don't think like he's ever going to have that title, I guess you can say. But I mean, he's really becoming a phenomenal player. Like he could be a 35-35 guy for the next couple of years here. I think it's a career high in points. Nuge again. Nice pass from McDavid to Draisaitl. How many goals were scored in this game? This is a game I wasn't tuned into. 4-3 halfway through the second. Wow. Yamamoto, Draisaitl, and Evander Kane is the line. Kane's starting to heat up a bit. Whether it's might not be statistically, I'm not sure, but what I've watched from him, looks like he's coming back and he's getting a bit more comfortable after coming back from that injury, surgery. Hyman, unbelievable. 4 assists for Nuge. Wow. So let's pause this here and go through it together. The Western Conference standings. In the Central, you got Minnesota hanging on to a 1-point lead over Colorado. Colorado has a game in hand. I think Colorado ends up taking that. But again, even Dallas could. You got Minnesota at 95, Colorado at 94, and Dallas at 94. I saw online, we can quickly go through these Central goalies. I mean, I'm putting Jake Oettinger at the top. I know he doesn't have the playoff experience right now, but obviously if you're talking dynasty, you're taking Jake Oettinger. But I just think the kid's ready. I think he's there. And then it's hard to not go with Gustafsson and Fleury. Fleury's got the experience, and Gustafsson has been in a world of his own this season. I think he's got a sub 2.5 GAA. And Georgiev is proving everybody wrong because when he asked for trades out of New York when he was there. They had a 3-headed monster going on, and he didn't get the initial trade request. But he's proving people wrong that he can do it, that he couldn't do it, I mean, and he's getting it done. In the Pacific Division, you got Vegas holding on to 98 points. This is the most shocking 98 points to me in the league by far. I didn't see it really happening with some of the injuries they've sustained and Leonard being down, but their goalies have gotten it done. And now they have Quick there, and Thompson, I believe, will be the 1-2. I think Thompson is healthy. But they're getting it done, and such a quiet 98 points. And both of these teams, now with Los Angeles is number 2 ranked, they got 96 points, both with 8 games remaining. And then you got Edmonton in third with 95 points with 7 games. I think Edmonton could catch LA, but really Los Angeles is just you use this term so many times as a well-oiled machine, but honestly, that's just what Los Angeles is, from the first line to the fourth line, both on forward and defense, for first to third on defense, and their goaltending. Like, thank goodness Copley was there because they were struggling. They traded Quick in a fashion that I didn't like, if you caught that on a previous episode. And then Cal Peterson just said, I don't know what's going on anymore, and he was awful. But Copley has saved them, and now they got Korpisalo there. They'll need to play a bit better. I think it's still up for grabs who might have that crease, but LA's a good team, man, and look out for them. So now let's look in the wild card. And honestly, we can stick with the goalie categories here. I'll take Quick and Thompson, and then I'll take the LA tandem. And then with Edmonton, you don't, like, Campbell's done, right? Jack Campbell's just finished, at least for this year. Like, you can't rely on him. You can't put him in the net. It's too risky. And with Skinner, it seems like he can handle it. He wants it. So good for him. Young kid, prospect, came up through the system, I believe. And if he wants that crease, man, he can have it for a long, long time. He's just got to keep putting out some good numbers and staying consistent. But that'll be fun. And the wild card, Seattle still holds on. Like no one's gonna catch any of these first 6 teams I just mentioned. So it's all about the wild card now in the Western Conference. Seattle with 9 games remaining, like they've got a pretty good hold. Like Nashville still has 9 games left, but they're 6 points back. Huge win for Nashville last night. We'll probably see those highlights here in a second. I was gonna go throw down a massive parlay yesterday because I've been struggling because of NCAA. But good thing I did it because Nashville went into Boston, man. You go into Boston and win 2-1, low-scoring game. And I don't know if Boston played everybody, but either way, doesn't matter. Boston's found ways to win every single game or throughout the whole season, no matter what. So it was a big win for them. But they're 6 points back. Yeah, they have 2 games in hand with against Calgary and Winnipeg here, but I don't think it's going to happen. Again, we just saw the Winnipeg loss. They got to figure something out, but I think in the end still, I think Seattle, Winnipeg could hold it. But 7 games is a lot. That's 14 points up for grabs between Calgary and Winnipeg there. I don't know if they play each other a couple more times, but I'd rather give more of a shout out here to Seattle. Seattle's looking really good this year, man. And I hate to circle back to the Leafs, but you could have had Jared McCann, 35 goals now, I think. And instead, you kept Kerfoot. But let's not talk about that. So that'd be an interesting race there. Where are we going now? Then they're bringing in somebody to talk about hockey. Raptors hanging in. I mean, I was wrong. If you saw the start of the season, I think I put the Raptors at maybe 48.5 wins, 49.5 wins, something around there, the high 40s for sure. I was wrong. It's been a weird one. It's weird. I think the players are pretty much locked into this play-in game or whatever it is. But you're seeing and I know it's an issue around the NBA, but all these players sitting out for rest and what have you. And I get it. Like I haven't played much basketball in the last 4,000 years. I was an elementary and a high school guy. But it's painful, man. And these guys are bigger. They're larger. And that hurts a lot more for sure. But it's weird. You want to see your best players play, especially when you need these wins. And this is a game that I think Toronto should win. I don't know if they did. But yeah, pretty much a down season for them. Maybe it's just a step thing. But then again, you thought who was going to be there at the deadline, who wasn't. I think everyone's kind of young enough and you have a good enough core. You brought in Pirtle and they played a lot better since acquiring him. I'd rather just keep it going. Stick with the system, if you will. You got a young enough core. It's a balanced core. It's young, and I think they can ultimately remind me of an old San Antonio Spurs team. That's a lot to say, but just where everybody kind of contributes. They play good defense if they can get it night in and night out. And time will tell, but this looked like it was a really good game for them. Yeah, Raptors win. They're back to 500, beating the Heat 106-92. Siakam with 26 points. So now let's quickly go through the standings as they nicely posted it for us. Toronto sitting in 9th spot. So what does that mean? That means they would play Miami. So they'd play Miami. No, they would play Atlanta. And Atlanta's sitting at 38. So they're right there with Atlanta. I think they're pretty much locked into a play-in game. You could still see Miami jump Brooklyn. And I mean, if that's the case, then who's scared of Brooklyn right now, right? No one. You can't be scared of Brooklyn. I'm not scared of. This is odd. So you got Milwaukee at the top. You don't want to play them. You don't want to play Boston. You don't want to play Philly. Cleveland's been really, really good this year. I wouldn't want to play them, but I think that would be a fun matchup for the Raptors if it ever got to that point, but I don't think it would. I'm not really scared of the Knicks. It's so weird seeing the Knicks in a playoff spot. I'm not scared of Brooklyn. We just saw them beat Miami, but I wouldn't want to play them in the first round, and I have no idea what Atlanta is. 0%. And then you have Toronto sitting in 9 and Chicago sitting in that 10. They still have Washington highlighted here at 34 and 42 because I guess they can catch Chicago. It's only 2.5 games, but I don't see that happening. Indiana, Orlando are still highlighted, but they're not going to make it. So really, I think Toronto could go on a little bit of a heater here. Maybe get to 44 wins. Is that possible? No, it's 44 wins would be the tie end. So I don't think they're going to get to that, but we're going to see. It's going to be in a play-in game, and at least they have that. But I don't know, man. I think already it's kind of a disappointing season, but I still like the team a lot, and I hope it doesn't change too much in the offseason no matter what happens. More panel. Panel. Give me a roll of hockey highlights, huh? More technical fouls. Draymond Green in the mix. You know what? I don't mind when these players get in each other's face, though. Like, that's the intensity's good. Oh, here we go again. I'm pretending to get up. I'm trying to get up here. You're kind of in my way at the same time, so I'm going to put a toe into your ear or something like that, right? I will say I don't know anything about basketball, even though I just went through the entire Eastern Conference standings. What do I know? Answer is nothing. Used to be locked into sports a lot more. Just don't really have the time. And when I do have time, I'm throwing darts. Warriors win. Like, Warriors being 3 games above 5 with the team they have is just odd. I don't know if there's injuries. Curry with 39. But again, I think the NBA just gets ready for playoffs. A lot of these teams. And they don't, especially in the West, it always seems like it's a bunched group from, like, what? I think this year it's a bit higher in the standings, all the way to 10 or something. Draymond talking about it, and you know what? I respect the hell out of him. I don't listen to his podcast. I think his podcast has kind of helped him. It's given him a platform to talk about, like, just who he is as a person, as a player. And he just says right there in the interview, you know, with the whole scuffle, like, this is what I do. I like that stuff. I'm not putting disrespect on people. Like, that's the kind of ball I play. And man, that fires me up. I'm getting fired up now just listening to him say that. That was freaking awesome. All right, skip the commercials. Gotta love skipping the commercials. Going for a bite. Montreal at Philly, hockey. For a number of years, I was always waiting for Philly to make that step. Never did. And now it doesn't look like it's going to happen for another few years. I think Tortorella's the right guy there. I think Philly's played a lot better than what any of us maybe thought. They have a good young core. I think they can make some moves, some possible contract problems for sure. But at least they're putting in an effort, man. Like, this isn't terrible. That was a nice move. Who did that? Morgan Frost with 2 goals. There you go. 16 for him on the year. Gallagher coming back. Let me quickly pause that. So Montreal at 30, 39, and 6. Philly at 29, 32, and 12. I didn't expect Philly to be at 29, 32, and 12 this year with the injuries they've had and the selling, I guess you could say, that they did. That's impressive, man. Like I've said, I've liked watching them and waiting for them to take the step, and we'll see if they ever do. Vancouver at St. Louis. I wanted to talk a bit about Vancouver. I mean, Tocchet comes in there. They made their moves. huge weird situation trading your captain because you didn't want to pay him or whatever. But Vancouver's looking a lot better. And like as a player, you want to play well. What a feed by Miller from the corner. Just a little one touch to Besser. I hope they don't trade Besser, man. You gotta, oh my gosh. Pedersen with an absolute feed. Who's that, Hughes? 5-4 late in the third for St. Louis. Goalie pulled. Quinn Hughes shot from the point. Looks like it went off somebody. Look at this. Overtime now. In St. Louis, the same thing. I don't think St. Louis is bad. I just think they're going to do some retooling on the fly. What a pass here. A little leave behind. Verana. Good for him, you know. Good for him coming back and being what he is. Both teams at 34, 34, and 6. But, like, if you're Vancouver, you're like, can we just, like, get Bedard? Maybe the fans are saying that, but the players still want to play. The players want to win, and they're doing it right now, so that's kind of cool. Rangers and Columbus. I mean, Columbus will be one of those teams fighting for Bedard as well, I think. They don't quit, man. That's what I like about them. I don't like a lot of the guys on the team. The two highest paid, I think. And they've been without Werenski all year. He'll be back. I think he's kind of an engine guy. He's a leader. But Laine, nah, he's not a leader. Gaudreau, I don't think he's a leader either. He reminds me of Huberdeau, you know what I mean? But they got a pretty good core there. 6-2 the final. Panarin with a goal. Like Rangers wow, Columbus is 23-43. I didn't see that. So yeah, here we go. We're looking at the NHL's worst records for Bedard. We got Sharks at the favorite at plus 140, Blue Jackets at plus 155, Blackhawks at plus 195, and the Ducks at plus 430. Nobody wants Bedard to go to any of these teams. People are saying the Blackhawks because it's original six. I don't want him to go there. I think Chicago, I think they deserve to go through some bit more pain, if you know what I'm saying. I know you don't want one apple or a few bad apples, but to ruin the batch or whatever. But that was a lot of effing bad apples there. So I don't want to see him in that jersey at all. I don't really care if he goes to a California team. It would make me stay up to watch hockey. Even though I try to watch hockey now, stay up late, but damn is it tough to do. Older you get, you know what I mean? But we'll see where he goes. Either way, I don't care. I just want to see him play. Can't remember what I was talking about before. Rangers are scary. Am I as scared of the Rangers as I thought I would be I guess a Leaf fan, but really any fan of anything? I'm not. The biggest scare I have about the Rangers is their defense and their goalie, not so much their forwards. Team Canada soccer playing at home against Honduras. What I love about soccer is, I have such a larger appreciation for it now, mostly because of my brother-in-law and introducing me not to just gambling on it all the time, but actually watching it. There's a nice goal there. And what I like about soccer, as I was saying, is that it doesn't seem like it's gone for too long before it's back again. I really appreciate that. And what I love about it is the absolute love Canada has given to soccer over the past few years. Canada up 2-0. Like, you just look at the fans and how much passion they have, and it's phenomenal to see. Misses the net on a penalty kick! Oh! Canada up 2 at the half, though. I gotta tell you, there's no one watching this right now. But I love it. I like that. I always get up early-ish, but get up, have a coffee, watch highlights, which I haven't done in feels like 100 years. Just watch highlights. Feels really cool. And then even if I'm just talking to myself, 4-1 final for Canada, you gotta like that stuff. I just love talking about sports, whether it's to the wall or to people or to a camera or to myself in the car on the way to work, you know what I mean? I love it. Panama and Canada. That's June 15th. Semifinals, CONCACAF. States, Mexico. Why is Canada number 3 seed? Excuse me. And we got some messy highlights here. Back to commercials. I can't remember if there's any other nice good meat to get into. Elementary school shooting in Nashville. Nashville and Boston. So yeah, here we go. It looked like I saw Marchand there. He was playing. It had to have been UC Saros in that, right? Because Lankinen just played the other day. Oh! Keeps it off the goal line. I don't want to say it's a bad thing to get the President's Trophy in any league, or whatever they call it. Sorry about your shutout. Pasta. What is this, number 51? Oh. I just feel like we could... It's not a... What a pass. McAvoy down low to Pasternak. 52 for Pasta. In a losing effort, they're 57, 12, and 5. Okay. But I feel like Boston could get eliminated in the first round. Like, it could happen. You never know. Like, I don't know. It's weird. Also, they couldn't, but it's the NHL. It's a great league. Speaking of struggling, Pittsburgh can't get a save, so they started Casey DeSmith tonight. I have Tristan Jarry in my Dynasty League. He's been I guess you can call him a bit of a Band-Aid. I also have Ville Husso, who's been a bit of a Band-Aid. So none of those guys played. It was Nedeljkovic and DeSmith, but, that puck crossed the line. But Pittsburgh's got to figure something out. I hope they show us the standings here after this package of highlights. Oh, Lalonde. Or Lalonde, or whatever his name is, the head coach for Detroit. I think he got ejected after this game. I saw that last night. They keep bleeping out. They keep bleeping out his mouth because he keeps swearing. 4-4 late in the third. David Perron with a hattie. Detroit sitting at 32. So Pittsburgh only eight games above 500. Struggling. And again, we talked about this yesterday with Tampa Bay. Screw it, man. They're just waiting. They're waiting for the playoffs. Is Svechnikov coming back for Carolina for the playoffs? Because if he doesn't, and like Pacioretty's done, I don't know how. I just don't know if Carolina would have enough to get over a team like the Rangers, or if they ever meet them. I don't know how it would look right now. But I mean, I think the Canes are pretty awesome. Oh, that's a weak goal. Yeah, Point's pretty good at hockey. 4-0 Lightning final. The ticker just ruined that, but I knew it was 2-0 at one point, and they hold on. Oh boy. See, that's the Vasilevsky thing there, man. He can do anything. He'll make 55 saves one night. Shutout for him. All right, updated Eastern Conference standings. Boston, 119 points. Are you out of this world right now? 8 games remaining. Toronto at 97. Tampa at 92. Leafs have 2 games in hand. I don't think Tampa's going to catch the Leafs. Either way, it doesn't matter, but the Leafs would want that home ice. In the Metro, you have Carolina at 103. That's really impressive. New Jersey's more impressive to me because I don't think anybody thought they'd have 100 points at the end of this year, or 100 points, that's a lot. And the Rangers sitting at 98. So you could see that Metro switch at any possible time now. And again, we're looking at another situation where the Atlantic and the Metro teams are at least set. And we're just looking at the wild card. The Islanders holding on to 1, Pittsburgh holding on to 2. Islanders with 85 points with 7 games remaining. Pittsburgh with 82 points with 8 games remaining. But like, if Pittsburgh can't go into Detroit and beat them, then I just don't see it, man. I don't know. Florida's only 3 games back. Buffalo's 5 points back, and Ottawa's 5 points back. Buffalo has a game in hand against Ottawa. I think Washington's done. Super weird to say. Pittsburgh's made the playoffs, 16 years in a row now, going back up to them. But there's just something there that doesn't look right. I think you could always say you'll be fine because you have Sidney Crosby and he can make anything happen. But something's just wrong. I mean, I look at their lineup sometimes and I'm like, why are they as bad as they are? It just seems like they don't get a save. They play really bad defense. Or there's guys always in and out of the lineup, which unfortunately you can't control at times, especially in the NHL because these guys are warriors. But I don't know if Florida's going to jump Pittsburgh. I don't want Florida to jump Pittsburgh. I'm kind of done with them this season. For me, to be honest, I would love Pittsburgh and Buffalo to make the playoffs because I think Buffalo is more exciting to watch and Sidney Crosby is more exciting to watch than anybody else for me of these wild card teams. So give me that. I don't want to watch the Islanders in the playoffs, man. It's just boring. That's all there is to it. And of course they have Sorokin, and he could steal you a series, and I don't want that to happen against anybody. Well, Toronto in the end. But in a perfect world, that's what I'd have. I'd have Pittsburgh and Buffalo make it all the way up. Do I think Buffalo's good enough? No. I do think it's going to stay at what we see here with the Islanders and Pittsburgh holding on to the last 2 wild card spots here. I don't know how much more we got here. Maybe they're going to show us some baseball stuff. What is it, Wednesday? Baseball starts tomorrow? People are saying, I don't know who it was, that the Jays could possibly win 100 games this year. That would be a first in my lifetime, I think. As they're talking to Steve Phillips and Scott Mitchell here. I don't have time to listen to this, but my quick prediction, like, I don't want to give too big of a prediction on the Jays this year. I have no problem putting them at 93.5 wins and easily putting them at 93.5 wins. Got a little bit of time left here. Hell, I can even say 95.5, call it. And I would take the over, just like I did last year. I took the over in their overall wins, and I lost that bet. What I do like this year with the Jays is they have that extra year of competition, experience with the younger guys, the younger core. The pitching staff, Manoah, Gosman, if Barrios can figure it out, give me that all day long. Kikuchi, again, figure something out, and at least give us 5 innings, man. At least give us 5. With the bullpen, they added pieces, which you love to see. I think with bullpens, it could be, it could turn out to be absolutely anything. It's like playing Russian roulette, if you will. If they can stay healthy with the knowledge that I have of this bullpen, I think they have enough guys that could give you an inning. I've mentioned it in previous episodes, years ago even, that somebody to shut down the 6th, 7th, and 8th before your closer, or like that's why you need the starting pitcher to give you 5. Even if it gives you have a 7, 8, 9 guy, a new guy to come in and just shut it down, whether it's with gas, only throwing strikes, a nasty slider, break, whatever, right? I do think they could get that. And there was one other thing I wanted to say about the Jays. Varsho, the guy they added in the offseason, this could be massive. I don't want to call him an X factor, but if he can come in and produce what he did last year, I think he brings a kind of a sigh of relief. Kind of like what Kiermaier could do, maybe not as the same power that Varsho could do, overall, but just a sigh of relief on the field and in the clubhouse. So we'll see how that goes. Now they got the Masters up here. So once I see the Masters logo, I'm going to pay attention. They're talking about analytics. I don't talk analytics unless I get paid to. I mean, all these analytics, they're talking about Augusta, right? Because Augusta is expanding the course. It's evolving year in and year out. They're making holes longer, pushing tees back, changing the design of whatever, just making it harder. I think it's the 13th hole that they've lengthened by a lot, which means I think Scotty Scheffler was talking about, like, you can't go 3-wood off the tee. I think some guys were doing that, or it's harder to get it to the turn to roll down the hill. But yeah, this segment kind of looks really cool. I might pause it and go back to it another time, but we don't have time right now because I gotta go get my day rolling. Eye doctor appointment this morning, and the rest will be history. But okay, that's that. Hey. Oh, I love it, man. I can't wait for golf to start. Sorry, I can't take my... All right, have a good day.